Bottom a 2-1 defeat away to Radcliffe today. I just need to ask you for your thoughts, Ruby.
Just another bad day for us, and unfortunately now there's been too many of those. We can't shy away from that. Obviously started badly when Cameron got a gash on his head and we had to put Smudge at fullback. And then, you know, I felt that first half, generally we had a lot of control, but we were too safe in our play, too safe, not playing with enough tempo, enough urgency, playing a little bit with a handbrake on, which I have no idea why we seem to have this. We have this knack of only really being a bit more aggressive when we fall behind, and that needs to change. And then, of course, you come out second half and concede a goal like the first one. I mean, it's got to be one of the worst goals I've ever seen. And for a team who's, you know, like ourselves, been struggling in the first 3 games, to go and give them a gimme like that at the start of the second half, it gives them something to protect. And then we go and find ourselves disjointed and all over the place again. They make it 2-0, just too easy, too passive, can't get countered that easily. You know, did we show a little bit of fight when it went 2-1? Not enough for me. Not enough for me, you know. Yeah, we've scored and we've reduced the deficit, but you know, we need to do far better than that. You know, we've got to do far better than that. I need more character, I need more personality, I need more from the players. You know, I'll take responsibility. I'm the manager. I've signed the majority of these lads, and ultimately the book, you know, lands with me. But I need more from the players. I'll always come out and protect any team that I manage, but I also think that I'm entitled to ask for more, because I didn't see us giving enough or doing enough there today, and that's not going to give us a chance of winning any games of football.
It's frustrating, isn't it? And how do you turn it around? Because you've got 2 big games coming up quite quick.
Well, we've got to show some character, and we've got to show that we can, or that we're willing to compete. You know, and I know when people are competing properly, and I know when people think they're competing, and I don't feel like we're earning the right. You know, in moments in games when things are against us, you know, second balls, loose balls, duels, 50-50s, putting your head in where it hurts. I'm not seeing anywhere near enough of that from our lads, unfortunately. You know, it's like we want the game to be a certain way. Maybe we're a little bit stuck in our identity of, you know, are we a team that's going to play, or are we a team that's going to play a little bit forwards, a little bit quicker and land on second balls? Maybe we're a little bit lost at the moment. But I also think that they all just sound like excuses to me. And, you know, at the end of the day, football, you've got to roll your sleeves up and you've got to work hard and you've got to compete and you've got to be prepared to put your body on the line for your team. I'm not seeing enough of that. And I can't tell you how much that pains me. You know, you have to work hard, particularly when you play for a club the size of Morecambe in this league, because teams are bang up for it when they play against us. And if we're not at it, we'll just continue to get run over, and I won't stand around and tolerate that. You know, I think there's a few of them that are fortunate we're under an embargo, and there's a few of them that are fortunate that we've got, you know, like Lewis Lee, Taylor O'Kane, Ronnie Bloy injured, because I would be making changes. But at the moment, our hands are a little bit tied, and people are getting more game time than probably the performances so far warrant. But as soon as we've got that lifted and we can get 1 or 2 back, there's going to have to be changes, because I can't. That kind of effort level and performance level won't get us where we ultimately want to be. At the moment, you know, hands are tied. But as soon as that changes, you know, we need to make changes, I think.
Hands are tied and not helped again by another early injury, this time to Cameron Cox.
Yeah, and look, listen, it's very difficult straight after a game to be emotionally balanced, yeah, because you're frustrated, you're disappointed, you're angry, all those emotions that everybody associated with this football club will be feeling right now. I feel that pain as well, believe you me. But we are suffering a lot of bad luck as well. And, you know, that's not an excuse. It's just a fact. You know, we lose Cameron there today to a head injury. Ronnie last Saturday to a head injury. You know, we've lost Lewis Lee in the game. Sorry, in training, we lose Taylor O'Kane, who he's probably going to be out for another 4 weeks now, unfortunately. So, you know, there's a lot of things that are kind of going against us, but we can't feel sorry for ourselves. I hate that feeling of feeling sorry for yourselves. Like there's such a, it's like reverting to type. You know, let's just feel sorry for ourselves. That will not get us where we want to be. And I need people that have got that same kind of mentality and character and appetite and are willing to fight for it. Because I know I certainly am, and I certainly will. But I need more to do the same.
You can see the fans' frustration again at the end. I mean, we all just need something to go our way, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But like, I imagine people have been saying that here for a long, long time. You know, it's like we're not passing the ball forwards. And there's negativity, you know, we don't cross a ball. And I understand it because, you know, when we have opportunities to cross, I expect us to cross. And when we don't cross, it's like, oh, you know, and there's such a negative feel around the whole football club generally. And at the moment, that's also felt in the changing rooms. You know, to play for big clubs in this league, you need people with character and with grittiness, with resilience. People who understand that we ain't just going to turn up because we're Morecambe Football Club, we've got some good footballers and just bop teams. We have to outwork and outfight and outrun and outcompete people. And I'm not seeing that enough. You know, when you don't have that, it's very difficult for you to have your technical qualities and your football ability. It's very hard for you to implement that. So I completely understand the supporters being frustrated. I've no issue with them venting it at me. Like that's when you're a manager, that's the way it goes. You know, if you're losing games, you get the brunt. You know, and at the moment we're 4 games in, and it's deserved. So you know, I deserve it. So do the players. And the only way we're going to get out of that is by sticking together, working hard. We've got to find a different level, find a different gear. And I need more from people.